Good afternoon, everyone. This is Linda with Linda Sue Plants for You. Welcome back. Today I am going to do a tour of my living room, and I'm going to start on one end, which is right here. Just bear with me. I'm not the best camera person in the world. I want to start with these. These are my Marantas praying hands, and kind of a little update for you. That's the stand that my daughter got me for Christmas, and my husband modified it so that I could fit that bottom plant in there. I see that you're not getting a very good picture of this, but it really is beautiful. I love the way it cascades down, and you'll see as you go through my home that I have kind of a fetish for these. There was a time when I really didn't care for these years ago. I don't know. I just didn't care for them, and now I can't seem to get enough of them. Kind of strange the way things happen. Okay, and then this is my, let me back up a little bit so you can get a better picture. There you go. Sorry about that. Had your nose stuck right up against the wall. How are you going to see anything? Okay. Most of you have seen this table. This is my, and I'm not going to go through each and every plant because we will be here till 8 o'clock tonight. This is my Sansevieria collection, and there's a couple Haworthias on there too, I believe. My Moon Glow, that's my Pride and Joy. Love, love, love that plant. And most of you know I collect elephants. And I'm training this heartleaf philodendron to go up and over all, I'm going to back up here. That's the plant, and it goes all the way up, and all the way up over the beam, and I'm just letting it go wherever it wants to go. Okay, and then moving over to the king's chair. This is his corner here. Of course, have to have the remote right on the arm, right? Alright. This is a tapestry that I made many years ago. And that stand shelf, most of you have seen. My husband made that by hand. So I had something to hang the tapestry from. And he always has to do everything, you know, to the max. But he did a beautiful job. Okay. And then my stand. And I just have to say, this is still a work in progress, and I think it is for most of us plant people, but there still is a lot that I need to change here and move around. But you know what? If I waited to do this until I had it perfect, I'd probably never do it. So I just thought, nope, I'm just going to do this, and I'll rearrange later. Oh, I have to show you that. How sweet. It's something the kids gave him for Christmas. Oh, and can I just tell you this little funny thing here? You see this little magazine on the table? I used to keep a little doily there, just like on the corner, so that he could put his coffee and toast and things, and all I had to do was throw the doily in the washer. And I kept it there because this glass comes out of the table. And right where the glass meets the wood There's just enough room for things, crumbs and dust to get down in. So it's really a pain to clean because you got to take the whole piece of glass out. So he thought he would help me by not having to wash it by using this. And I said, okay, that works. But his thought behind it was, it works good. It absorbs the drips from the coffee cup, and he gets one about once a week. So when the new one comes in, he throws the old one out. I said, alrighty then, that works for me. Alright, just a little side note there. Down my side road again, right? Alright, let's look at the plants, because that's what you're here for. This is a gold dust Dracaena. I can take or leave this plant. I'm not sure why I bought it, but I did a long time ago, and as you can see, it probably has been a little neglected because it should be a lot bigger than it is, but it's one of those plants where if it dies, I don't care. And I know that sounds heartless, but don't we all have one of those? Okay, and then going around this, what used to be a bread shelf in his mom's kitchen, and he brought it home and made it sturdy and added these lights, which are awesome because I can move them and adjust them wherever I need the light. So depending on what plants I have on here or how much light a plant might need, I can put that light accordingly. In here, this is my brandianum that I got from Suzette, from Suzette's Gardens, and it had a real hard time getting through the shipment. That, you know, when it was shipped to me, it was very, very hot, and a lot of the things that I received took a long time to recover from that, but most of them did make it. This is also from Suzette. This is my Adansonii wide leaf. I love this plant. This was just one leaf, and you can see how full it is now and how big the leaves are getting. I love that. This up here is my Crimson Princess Hoya Carnosa. I love how it looks in that pot. It's a clay pot, teapot kind of. Can't see that part of it. And it is growing very nicely, not too fast. I just really don't want it to outgrow the pot because I like the way that all looks there. And then down in here I have some starts for my kids for the rose tail. And then you can see around here the pothos that's going around the whole stand. This was from my mother's wake. Yeah, it's 7 years tomorrow. Nope, 7 years Tuesday. She died 2 days after Mother's Day. And my father died in August following her passing. That was a bad year. And my husband lost a few other family members that year too. I think he went to 8 funerals. That was awful. But this is from his mom's wake. And I almost killed this plant. I don't know how one can kill a pothos, but I did. Well, actually, I do know how. It was my water. It did not like our well water. But, so I use distilled water now, and she's so full. I actually have to start retraining her to get her fuller at the top. And my husband talked about letting it grow up the ceiling. We've got 14-foot ceilings here. And I thought that might not be a bad idea. It would be pretty. But who's going to go up there and get it down and wash it and dust it? So we'll see. And then here I have my ginseng tree. I think most of you have seen this before. This is a fairly new addition. My little frog in there. I love that plant. And this is my peace lily. And I know that it's a very common houseplant. But this plant was from my dad's wake. It was 3 times the size when I brought it home. I lost the whole thing, except for a couple little pieces of green sticking up through the middle. And on Thanksgiving Day of that year, he died in August, and on Thanksgiving Day, I almost started crying because I noticed that there was new growth. And I remember saying to my family when they came over, I said, Dad came for Thanksgiving, and he always loved Thanksgiving. So we did manage to bring that back. And the thing that was wrong is it needed calcium. So I added Epsom salt. I believe it was a tablespoon of Epsom salt in a gallon of water. And shake it up really good. And then I watered it with that 2 or 3 times, several weeks apart. And it took off. So if you're having problems with your plants, with your peace lily, and the leaves start getting real thin and light green with the dark green veining, chlorotic I think is the name, and that's usually lack of calcium. And what happens is the roots can't take up the nutrients. And by putting that Epsom salt in there, it kind of heals the roots, I guess. I am not a botanist, so please don't take that for God's word, because I'm just repeating what I had heard, and this is the result, and it's working for me. So, all right. Then down here we have my husband's zebra plant. Still working on that. It was very big and beautiful, and I made some cuttings because it was getting tall and leggy. I lost one of the cuttings, but one of them is still growing. One of them did take root, and that was my fault because I had it in a spot where I forgot about it and it dried out. Alright, just one moment. Okay, I apologize for that interruption. I actually had to go and grab my walker. I just cannot stand that long. Well, we're not going to go into why, but anyway, let me get a close-up of this for you. I want you to see down in the corner there the silver lace fern. She just kind of stays like that. I have a couple new leaves on there, but nothing to write home about. I've had this plant almost everywhere in my house, and it didn't like anywhere it was except here. And it's still not doing a whole lot, but it's not taking up precious space either, because not too many things are going to grow good down there because of the lighting. And this is my Aglaonema Chinese evergreen. The red, I forget the name, red something. But that's really taken off. My daughter wants a cutting from that one too, so I'm going to have to do that soon. And then moving, let me back off here. And yes, you are looking at 2 Boston ferns that belong out on my porch. I brought them in last night because it got down to 29 degrees in southeast Wisconsin. That's a little cold even for us at this time of year. So I brought them in and set them by the front door. I haven't put them back out yet because I think it's still only like 40 and it's a north wind, so I'm just going to keep them in here till tomorrow, and I'll put them back out in the sunshine if we have sunshine. Okay, and then moving along. This is my lipstick, I'm sorry. Yeah, my black pagoda lipstick plant. I'll try and get closer up here. That was a cutting from Suzette too, and oh, it's getting really full now. I can't wait till it gets as big as my other lipstick plants, but I think I might have to move her. I'm not, she's growing and I'm getting more new shoots on it, but I think she could be doing even better if I had her in a brighter light. But she is doing okay there. And I have an aloe there that my hubby brought home for me one night when I wasn't feeling so good. And of course my little elephant, you all know I collect elephants. That's my Hoya Hindu rope that my sister bought me I think it was last Mother's Day. It's a very slow growing plant. And behind that, there's a little air plant in there that my granddaughter bought me a long time ago. And it's doing okay. Alright. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Alright, let's see if I can. One of these days I think I'm going to do a tour at night, because I think you can see the plants so much better without the backlighting, but for now I'll just keep going. Okay, up there is my rattlesnake, my Calathea. It's gorgeous, it's tall, it loves it, and I love the wine color on the back. I think we all know what it looks like on the front. I don't have to reach up there to show you, I hope. And I had it down on the table, and it did okay, but it really likes it up there, so I'm just going to enjoy the back side of the leaves. And then here's my lemon lime Calathea, or Calathea. Very healthy, very beautiful. Love, love, love this plant. And here's another Adansonii. This was also, I believe, a cutting that I got from Suzette a long time ago. She's very long. I'm thinking about putting her in a different spot where I can wind her up around in here in the pot and keep a closer eye on her. She seems to like it there though, but I don't like the length in between the leaves. Those should be closer together. And then I have a couple different Calatheas here. Maybe I can turn the light on so you can see. I'm not sure if you can see back there. It's very hard for me to lift these and move them, so bear with me, friends. I don't know the names of all of these. I think this is the Zabrina, I'm not sure. But like I always say, if there's something you really, really need to know the name of, please let me know and I'll do my best to get that for you, to look it up and get you the name. And here, most of you have seen this, my watermelon peperomia. She's doing really, really well. And her leaves are pretty big. Love this plant. And that's another Calathea back here. She's only got 2 leaves. And she's only had 2 leaves for probably about a year. I cannot get it to grow any new shoots. I think if I put it back in a bag, I'll probably get another leaf out of it, but I don't want it to live in a bag, so I'm hoping it'll give me something. But that's the Calathea ornata, I believe it's called. Those are very difficult. Most people will tell you that. And this is the, I think it's called Lubersii. Very pretty plant. And this is one of my new plants. This is the White Fusion. And for those of you who saw my last video, you're going to laugh at me because I called it a Calathea. I mean a Stromanthi, and it's not. It's Calathea, white fusion, not to be confused with the silver streak Calathea. They look to me a lot alike. Actually, they probably don't look anything alike close up. But I just had a brain cramp that day and I didn't catch it. And my friend Susie was watching my video, and I realized it later in the evening, and the next day I talked to my friend, and she brought it up, and I said, you know, did I say that on my video? And she laughed, and she said, yeah, you did. So I'm making my correction now, okay? I know it's a little late, but that's how that goes. You know, when they make a mistake on the front page of a newspaper, where do they put the correction? Usually embedded deep in the middle, down in the bottom, a tiny little paragraph, right? So if they can get away with it, so can I. Okay, here's my string of pearls. Love this plant. One of my string of pearls. I have another one. I just sent a small one home with my granddaughter because she wanted it too. This is almost all the way down to the floor. One of the things I want to say about this, because I know so many people love this plant and have problems with it, as you can see, or you will see, I'll show you. You see this light here? Every couple days I have it about that close. Usually right after I water it. Because you can overwater these, but if you don't keep the top of this wet, I mean not wet, but if you don't keep good light on here, on the top of the soil, it will be bare. You won't get any new growth. The strands will continue to grow because they're being fed by the roots, but the top of it won't produce more foliage for you because it's not getting enough light. And I found that out over the years of trial and error. So any kind of senecio, and I guess now they're called curio, I just found out. I think Summer Rain Oaks is the person that brought that to my attention. So you can look up her video and double check that if you like. This is my Tradescantia baby bunny bellies, and it's called that because those leaves on there are so soft. They're like, it feels like a baby's bunny. It's softer than a baby's behind. They're just like silk. So soft. And the camera really doesn't do this plant justice as far as the color. Let's see if I turn the light away. No? Is that any better? Probably not. This plant's growing very, very nicely for me. That too is all the way down to the floor. And it roots very readily in water or soil, water especially. You can root this up in a couple of days. So cuttings are very easy from this plant. All right. Moving on. How are you all doing so far? You hanging in there with me? I hope you're able to see. Alright, this is my, well, it's become my begonia table. And I'm still experimenting just because I haven't had any experience with the Begonia maculata wittii, and now I have two of them and they seem to be doing okay. I grow Rex begonias, but I'm actually kind of moving away from them and then getting more into the cane begonias just because they're I don't know, they seem to be a little easier to take care of, and I love their big, huge leaves. This was a cutting from Suzette, and look at how big that is. I mean, the size of that leaf. It's beautiful. And I've got a lot of new growth. So I think that they are doing okay on this table, and I'm probably going to continue to leave them here for a while and see how they do. And you can see I've got some Rex begonias going on in back. That one in the back there that I can't quite get to. Let me see if I can get a little closer. That's the one that I killed. I knocked it over, remember? And it landed on its head and it completely died. But I left it in a southern window and I just gave it a little tiny drink every now and then, and it's all coming back. So I'm very happy about that. Alright, and we are about halfway through. Just in case you're wondering. And here I have an old table that I've been moving from room to room. She's kind of like a friend with no home right now. She really doesn't belong in this spot and is probably not going to stay here. But until I get done with what I'm doing here, this is the best place for her. Those are my holiday cactus. Not doing real great. They need more light, but when I had them in too much light, then they faded out on me. So I'm still looking for the perfect spot for those. This is my Hawaiian wedding ring, Madagascar, jasmine. Hawaiian jasmine, I think it's called, from the Madagascar. It's a beautiful plant when it's full. And the bottom leaves are growing really nice. Losing a leaf here. And I got new growth going on here that I have to kind of train to go around there. I think she could be doing better, but fairly new for me, so I'm still learning. And then in the back you can see that was one of my latest additions, and she's doing really good. You can see the unboxing. She's huge. Let me see if I can get in closer. Okay, I'm back, and I have to apologize before I go any further. We have a air purifier in our living room, and sometimes it gets noisy, and I'm so used to it I don't even hear it anymore. And somebody pointed it out to me on one of my previous videos. I think she actually thought it was a generator running, and when I went back and listened to it, it did sound like a generator running. I don't know why I didn't catch that when I was editing, but I think because I'm so used to hearing it. So I just went and turned it off. I hope that wasn't too loud in the background in the beginning here. Okay, so now I am back. A little out of breath, just bear with me. I just got this plant last week. You can watch my unboxing. It's huge, as you can see. And I have new shoots coming. There's one there, and I actually think this might have been a flower, but I don't know if it's going to open. Let me give you I got it from the Equigenera Company, USA. There is another one that's in Ecuador. They're both the same company, but if you try to order off the internet, you're going to pay a lot more if you go to the wrong one. So you got to put Equigenera USA. Maybe I can... Yeah, I think you can see that just fine. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that. And this is an anthurium. I don't remember the... Let me look and see if it's on the tag. Yes, it is. Here is the name. Looks like Longistrorsum. That would be my guess. And I cannot wait for this thing to get really big and fill my whole corner. And then behind there is my Monstera deliciosa. She's growing wonderfully. I'm getting a ton of new growth, as you can see. Now, I just put this smaller plant in there a few weeks ago, but she's got a bunch of new babies coming up. So this is going to be a very full plant someday. I'm excited about that. Okay, and now we can get a little better look at my Rex Begonia. I'm so happy that she made it. I was so sad when that happened. But she's doing good. I got another little one here that's coming along. But like I said, I'm not getting as much pleasure out of those as I used to. I'm really enjoying the cane begonias much better. Okay. And I think I forgot to do this one. That is a Stramanthe. And that's the pinker, the Triostar, or Trio Star, depending on how you pronounce it. And she's doing really good. I just gave a cutting of that to my daughter. And it's filling out very nicely, even though, you know, it's very easy to propagate. And I've got a couple more begonias under here. This is that table that my husband made for me out of an old, we believe that that was an old bar stool base years ago. They made things a lot better years ago. Oh boy, my camera just turned off. I'm not sure how much you missed. Well, I guess when I edit it, I will know. And I may have to go back and do some more. That was very strange. I've never had that happen. Alright, this is my goldfish plant. Last time I showed it, it had quite a few goldfish on it. It doesn't have any on it right now. And in front of that is my Pilea peperomoides. I love this plant. It's my favorite, I think my favorite, or close to my favorite. I have a lot of favorites, actually. I think all of us plant people do. Depends on the day, right? I did change the stand that it was in. If you guys remember, it was in a much taller, more ornate, Victorian style, and it was much taller, higher. And unfortunately, I had to take it out of there because it wasn't getting enough light at the top. I'm going to see if I can show you this. If you can see how the stem bends, the main trunk. It's starting to straighten out now because I lowered the plant down so that the top could get more light. It was too high and the lighting outside was not hitting the top here, this part. So what was happening is I was getting a lot of growth at the base, but the top was starting to move. You know, it was bending over, and it wasn't doing well. But it's doing very well in here. You can see all the babies. There's another new baby there. You see that? It's got tons of babies in there. I wish you could see it close up because it's so hard to get on camera, but it just have to trust me on this. It's full of babies in there. And I want to just caution you. I did see Suzette was repotting one of the, I sent her one of these, and I forgot to tell her, you have to be careful when you repot these because the babies oftentimes, maybe I can show you better on this one, they will pop up out at the sides, at the rim of the pot. You won't be looking for it there when you have a plant this size or this size. Like right now, you can see on this one, there's no growth coming up out of the dirt, soil. But 90% of the time when it does come, it'll be along the rim. Eventually it comes on, you know, from everywhere. But that's where I usually notice the first babies. So be very careful when you're checking the soil to see if it's dry, that you're not poking into a very tender new shoot that's coming up. And I learned that the hard way, so I wanted to point that out. Oh, here's my little critters. I have squirrels and chipmunks and rabbits and birds. Alright. See if I can get behind my Pilea here and show you without wrecking anything. This is my windowsill. Dragon fruit, cactus, spiral cactus, copper spoons, I believe it's called. I forget the other name, but that's a very slow grower. And my little hummingbird, glass hummingbird decor that Suzette sent me for my birthday last year. Thank you, Suzette. She's still so pretty. It's so nice to have good friends in your life. Okay, and then here's my burro's tail / donkey tail. Not quite sure which one it is. I know there's a way to tell, but I never remember. But you all get the idea. And I did repot her during the winter. I know there were some people that were a little worried that she might not make it because of the time of year, but as you can see, she's doing great. And she continues to give me new growth. She's growing very fast. And I had one of these many years ago. It did not grow like this. So I feel very, very fortunate to have one that's putting that kind of growth on in that amount of time. And then moving down, we've got my variegated jade. And I forget what that's called. I gotta see if I can get around here to get a little closer. This was a cutting from my daughter. This is the fire sticks plant. It's supposed to get very red and bright orange when you give it, when it's stressed, I guess, when it gets too much light. But as you can see, that's not happening yet, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. This is a Calatheas tomentosa chocolate soldier. And I just featured this in one of my other videos not too long ago. And then this is another Calatheas tomentosa. This is the panda. And this is my bromeliad. This is also from Suzette. It's not doing much, but it's alive. And I'm watering it. This is my Prince of Orange. This is really starting to grow since I moved it out of the dining room into the living room. So it likes it here better. It won't be long before it outgrows this space. It's going to have to be a floor plant eventually. And then up here, you all saw this not too long ago, is my lipstick, curly lipstick. And this thing was covered in lipsticks. I did catch some of them on that last video, and I think there's one left on here. But you can see, if I can get up real close, you can see there's a whole bunch more starting to form. See that? Those are flowers, and they're all over this thing. Here's some more. They're getting ready to open. I can't wait. Alright, I think we've got everything covered on here. Oh, yeah, no. This is my money tree. And I knew nothing about this when I got it, and I did a video on it. And one of my viewers, I believe it was a gentleman, I'm pretty sure, and I'm sorry that I forgot your name, but he said definitely cut some of these out, because I was questioning whether I should thin this out up here. And he said definitely do that. And I tend to agree with him, but I was afraid to, because I don't know. I guess I wasn't sure if that was the right thing to do. So I thought, well, I'm going to wait a little bit and see what happens. But I think he was really right, because the ones that are out here are growing so nicely. This is a new, and a new one here. But this is all just so thick and clustered in here. But they're not dying. That's, I guess, where my confusion's coming from. It doesn't look like they're being choked off, because there's no yellowing of the leaves or anything. What is here seems healthy. And I guess that's why I'm not sure what to do. I don't know. Go ahead, and if you know, please let me know what to do with that. I might just leave it, or I might just, there's nice, I'm sitting here looking at it thinking I should just go trim some of that off, and then something stops me. So I'm not, my grandma used to tell me, if you're not sure what to do when you have to make a decision, and you're not sure, then do nothing unless it's life-threatening. And I've lived by that most of my life, and it's always turned out to be good advice. I'm going to back up and quiet down. I've got a beautiful finch on my finch feeder. Let's see if I can get a close on. And friends, these finches come all day long, from morning till night. Sometimes I got 30 of them on there. Oh, I just love them. See if I can get a little closer. Usually by the time I get the camera out, then they get scared off, because it's really right outside the window. And I see this is kind of blurry here. Sorry about that. Such beautiful birds. And we've got, I don't know, 30 plus different species. We got 3-4 different types of woodpeckers. We have blue jays, bluebirds, red cardinals, brown cardinals, red-breasted sparrows. I don't even know what all. We have so many different birds, doves. And then we get those darn blackbirds and those ravens. They give me the creeps. I hate them. And I know they're God's creatures, but I still hate them. I wish they'd go away. They go away in the winter. They're just creepy looking. And if you ever saw the movie The Birds, I mean, I saw that when I was a kid. That wasn't a good thing to watch. All right, I think, oh, there's the blue jays. Let me see if I can get them. Nope, they're kind of scared. Dang. Okay, well, that's enough. You came to see the plants. All right, let me move along here. You can see the whole thing. Oh, and those are my coleus down there. Yeah, I forgot the bottom. What the heck? There's my coleus cuttings from Suzette. And most of them took. One of the cuttings did not take, and that was my fault. I wasn't watching it close enough. But they're coming along just fine. And then behind there is another peace lily. That plant, that's funny. I got to tell you the story behind this. This was one of those middle of winter, came here to buy a plant. They didn't have much to choose from. And I saw this little teeny tiny plant. It was like in an 1.5-inch size pot. And I couldn't tell by the shape of the leaf at that time what it was. In fact, I think I even asked about it on one of my videos. Well, it was a peace lily. And there she is. She's kind of wonky though. Look at her, how she's growing. Most peace lilies grow pretty uniformly, but this one's not. And I just think it's kind of neat looking. So, anyways, we got that. And then here's my another. This is a cutting from my golden pothos that I have on my little bench there with my clay pot. I just love that. And then of course this is my table where I sit next to the couch. That's right next to my where I sit. I need things to be convenient for me. And then I don't want to miss out on him. This is my Calathea, my air plant, on my coffee table. I can get a close-up of her. This is a glass shelf that shelf? What? Why did I say shelf? It's a glass tray that I bought at, I believe it was the Goodwill, and it's really very sturdy. It's made out of steel, and it's got a glass insert and those beautiful leaves in there. That's all part of the pattern. I just absolutely love this tray. And then I have all the, you can see the air plants that I have in here. I don't know the proper names for all of these, my friends. I used to actually, but I don't remember. This one is doing really nicely. It's getting its color back. And these are my air plants. And I'm going to just show you the bottom of this, how this looks. These plants they're not hard to take care of, but they're easy to kill because you can forget about them. And they're called air plants because they don't need soil, not because they don't need water. And a lot of people don't know that. They really need to be watered once a week, especially at this time of year. Do I do that? Nope, I forget. But so far I've been able to catch them in time. And actually, it's better to underwater these than overwater, because if you overwater them, they rot real easy and they'll die. And that's sad. And they're not inexpensive either. You pay a good price for these things. So I actually have another one I have more over here. I don't know if I showed you that before. On this stand. Oh, the finches are back. This is a stand that my husband brought home. I think he got that at the thrift store. We were trying to figure out what it was used for at one time. Thought maybe it was a lamp, but no, there's no hole in the rod. There's no rod going up for the wire. So possibly a candle holder. It does have a little tray up in there that could have held a candle. But I think it's just decor. And I have my air plants hanging from there, as you can see. Okay. Alright, we're almost done. I know I said that a while ago, didn't I? This is going to be a long video. Alright. Let me get up. Try to remember to move slowly so I don't make anybody dizzy. And this is the end. This is my, you can see behind here. I have this on another video. This is a table that my husband built for behind here, so that I could put my plants anywhere. I had different stands that they were on, and it was really difficult. I was knocking them over and bumping into them, and I couldn't get them the right height, and I kept saying, honey, I need a table back here, and he finally built me one. And it's been wonderful because I can put the plants wherever I want. I can move them around, and they're on a solid surface, and as they grow we have to move our plants anyway, because just about the time you think you found the perfect spot, they get to a point where they don't fit in there anymore. So you've got to be able to be flexible with our plants, right? So what you're looking at here is, and I'm not going to move the couch to go back there, but let me see if I can get, that's my rubber tree. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but I have two of these, and I bought them in, it was either a 2 or 3 inch pot. I was having trouble with them, and then all of a sudden they took off like crazy. And now they're, well, you can see how big it is. That's a 8-inch pot that it's in, so you can kind of judge from there. And then here's my fiddle leaf fig. She's doing pretty good. I did lose 2 leaves on her, and it was because I didn't get water to her in time. Prior to that, I had her for months, and I had no problems. They really don't like to go completely dry for too long. And then behind there is my beautiful Monstera Delicioso. That Suzette sent me this last fall, I believe. Sent me the cutting. It was a substantial cutting, though. And look at how full it is. And it's got tons of new leaves on it. New growth coming up behind there. Look at, it's beautiful. And then you can see my Sansevieria, which is also very big. And behind that, you're looking at Blue Star Fern. Very easy plant to take care of. And then this is my Salome. And this is from Suzette as well. She's given me a lot of plants, folks. She knows my life, and she knows I can't get out much, and she has taken it upon herself, the good-hearted person she is. She sent me 2 huge boxes of plants and cuttings, and I'm so grateful for that. And they're doing very well now. I did repot this, but it's still got the chloronic, I think that's the right word, leaves. So I'm not sure what that's all about. I've been feeding it. I'm doing all the right things, but for some reason that just doesn't want to green up. And then I've got my little China doll. She's very pretty. I love this plant. She's growing a lot, as you can see. And what else? Okay, and my Scindaptus pictus. This guy needs water. You can tell because the leaves start to curl under. And this one is too growing way up and over and hanging down. I got to do something with that guy or he's going to be in my lap. But it's growing all across the top there. So that's really it. I'm done, believe it or not. This is it. This is my home, my peace, my place of refuge, whatever you call. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I've inspired people and encouraged people. Find something that you like in life. Find something you like to do. Something that makes you happy. Because we need that in our life. And especially now, with all that's going on in the world, we have to find a place to get our peace. And besides praying, and that brings me peace as well, but having a hobby and having something to look forward to doing and a reason to do it, to get up in the morning and carry on, that helps too. Some of you don't have that problem because you have children and busy work days and you have enough to keep you busy. So, but for those of you that find yourself in a situation that you don't like being in through no fault of your own, and maybe you need something to cheer you up, plants are a great way to do it. Usually what you give, you get back tenfold. And it's really rewarding to see the growth and to remember how little they were and insignificant and how big they can be with the proper care and love and attention. Okay, I'll give you one last look around, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. And I hope you'll all come back. If you like the video and you want to give me a thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. It does help me a lot. And your comments I look forward to. So, I'll be back. God willing, I'll be back. I'm going to be doing a video of the dining room. I know I keep promising that, but that is an undertaking. That's just been overwhelming for me. So I am working on it, and it'll be coming soon. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all of you who are not only mothers of children, but mothers of pets. Maybe you are the caregiver now for your mother to your mother. All of you, everything that the word mom encompasses covers a lot. And I wish you all a very happy Mother's Day. Take care now. Bye-bye.